Hello, everybody. Welcome in.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome in, Carly, especially. I'm excited to have you on here. I know we get to talk, obviously, inside of REPP a good bit, but
yeah,
made a point to have you on here until now, which is crazy. But anyway, thanks for coming on.
No problem. I'm excited.
I had what I was going to say prepared, and then I had that, you know how it like loops the countdown sometimes? I was like, shoot, did I turn that off? And then I went,
you did it perfectly. I was just going to say, it was actually very smooth.
It was very
we started on time. And there's my alarms to remind me what to ask and stuff. But no, we started on time. You went right on. That was pretty good. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. It didn't feel right on. But anyway, let's jump into it. So trying to think where to start on all of the...
First of all, where are you from?
Yeah.
I always forget to ask that.
Yeah, I am now in Alberta, Canada. Previously, I was in Ontario.
Okay.
So yeah,
and you were a realtor or real estate agent in Ontario.
In Ontario, exactly.
Yeah.
Moved here like approaching 3 years ago. And yeah, it was kind of like one of those moments, those crossroads in one's life when it was like, okay, well, I would have to become relicensed here. Am I going to do that? Do I want to do that? And for whatever reason, I just like decided to hold off for a minute, which was kind of weird and not really like me. Usually I'm like proactive on top of things. And I'm like, something just didn't feel right. And I just kind of sat on it for a little while. And yeah, I think I'm jumping ahead here, but
no, it's perfect.
Didn't continue being a realtor.
Yeah, and that was one of my questions. I didn't realize there was a market change there. So I was gonna ask how much you think your connections from being a realtor helped, but obviously it didn't because there were none. But I'm sure you knew the industry a little bit. I mean, that's stuff you can learn. But do you think that helped give you confidence that you knew this was going to work because you'd seen realtors hire professionals, you'd worked with them, or like how did
that exactly? I don't think like there was zero connections that helped me because I didn't know a soul moving here. Like never even stepped foot in Alberta until the day like the moving truck showed up. So zero connections. But yeah, I think I definitely seen the industry from the other side of things. I seen a lot of things that were like frustrating as a realtor when it came to like finding, keeping, working with reliable vendors. Not just photographers, like money, right? There were so many frustrations there. So yeah, I seen like the okay, that's how you don't do it is what I can say.
Gotcha. And so that was the benefit. So yeah, I guess that was like I started us off on a weird path. Let's reverse a little bit. You were a realtor, you moved, and when did real estate media enter the picture and like what started that process?
Yeah, for like a hot minute, like I said, I was just kind of like, okay, humming and hawing. After like 10 years in that industry, I was kind of like burnt out a little bit. I was sick of like always being on my A game. And I'm like, I'm just going to like do something random. In my little funny small town here, there's like population 2,500. Let me paint the picture. And I was like, yeah, I like worked at a brewery for a little while. I started cleaning some houses and then kind of had what like felt like a reset. And then I was like, okay, I'm bored. What am I actually going to do now? Not that there's anything wrong with those things, but it's not my personality. Yeah. And then what happens to everybody that is here? I was like,
he pops up on your YouTube or your Instagram and then never leaves.
He never leaves. Never leaves. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? What does he have to say? And no word of a lie, like first time in my life, probably an epiphany. Like I finally know what that word meant because I was just watching for like not even long, like 2 of your videos. And it was like,
Oh, so it was fast. So you
it
like,
was
it just
so
felt right
fast.
when you yeah.
It was
Wow.
so fast. It was like I almost kicked myself. Like, how come I didn't think of this sooner? Like, there's so many sides of real estate I love.
Yeah.
Seeing beautiful houses, I like design. I love dealing with the public. I love all of that. But like the nitty-gritty negotiations, flying out of the house without much notice, like during dinner for whatever. But yeah, it was like definitely a pivotal moment when I watched a few of your videos. I'm like, why haven't I thought about media?
It's funny too, because it's like once even, with your real estate background, it seems more like why haven't you thought about it, right? But I think across the board, it's just not something you ever wake up and go, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, even if you're used to working with a photographer, it's just you don't think that could be
No,
until you think about it for the first time, and then you're like, wait a second, this is awesome, you know? Like,
especially when you're not
yeah,
like born a creative. Like I am not a creative. I can't draw like a stick person. Like it was
yeah,
never like in my radar of like, oh, I could be a professional photographer.
same.
Um, so funny.
It's
You want
funny too, because there's
you
this, especially coming from the real estate salesperson side of things. Like, I always had people ask me, this would be a couple of years. Like, I scaled Norman Young by this point. They'd be like, "So Eli, when do you think you'll get your real estate license?" I'm like, that's not like the
As
path
if that was
up.
just the logical next step.
And I like that because I'm like, okay, perfect. They don't think I'm getting paid too much. Then that's awesome. Like, we'll keep it on the down low,
Exactly.
But I think it is funny because people assume it's sort of like this entry level, like just this little business. But it's such and I think because of that, it's a great way to make money because people overlook it. They think, oh, you got to be, you can be you can make great money as a real estate agent. You absolutely can, but like most agents don't. And so
Most
that's the
agents
funny thing
don't.
is it would be the same agents that I know how many shoots they do because I'm doing the shoots. It would be like, when are you going to be a
Piling
photographer?
it up in
Or,
your head. You're like,
yeah.
ooh,
I'm
this is
like
not looking so
3%.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
so anyway, you started the business. Just fast forwarding a little bit. You're doing, I think your peak month's been like 45K Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This month probably trending to top that.
Nice. The big 50 mark. So
Yeah.
that's fast. And the reason I brought up that number is because I think that will make people go like, oh, okay. And see that you built a lot really quickly. So like walk me through the process. Obviously we worked with you in coaching, but like you did a lot to grow the business. Coaching is one piece of the puzzle, but like there's a lot more that goes into it. So what do you think some of your strengths are that have allowed you to grow quickly so far?
Yeah, I think, well, when you like in your teachings and everything, you like eliminate that barrier. So I think had you not have, I would have been so hyper focused on like, well, I'm not a creative. I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. Hey Kevin. But when you like eliminate all of that stuff and you just kind of focus on what your strengths are, it allowed me to like kind of let my strengths come to the forefront, which is really just like dealing with people, customer service, sales. Like that has always been my wheelhouse. Even like a teenager working in like retail stores, right? That's always been my thing. So yeah, even like today, that's what clients tell me all the time, is just how they like connect with me, how I treat everybody like a friend, and whether that's like a good thing or a bad thing, every customer, every client, I'm like, I think we're best friends. Whether that's go the same in their mindset, I don't know, but
It works.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's, I think like there's just a real personal connection, and just going the extra mile, like not getting caught up on things that really don't matter and making them feel heard.
Yeah, I think that's a common thread on, any of these videos we do interviewing people that grow quickly. It's like you have to have like building relationships is what builds the business, but when people really focus on that, that's when they get really fast growth. And everybody does it in kind of their own way, but it's like, this is a very relationship based business because it's not a one-time customer. It's someone you work with over and over. So if you don't build a relationship, it's hard to get referrals, it's hard to keep customers. So what is that? I mean, you said go the extra mile. Like what do you do that makes people want to refer you and want to stay with you, you think? Like, I guess
Yeah, I
you can however you
think
want.
a few things, like patience is a huge one. You really hit the nail on the head with that one, that like, even as my time as a realtor, how many photographers or whoever came through and they're just rushed. They're overbooked on their schedule, which like my company's busy too. I understand maintaining a schedule, but just trying to like zip through and not really care, it shows. Whereas like myself and now the team I've trained, it's like if they have put that effort in. Like, it's one thing if there was zero preparation and then it's kind of like, okay, go for it. But if you can tell they've put a certain level of preparation in, they really care, and they may have gotten the house like 80% of the way there, we're going to get them to 100. We're going to give them 20 minutes to tuck away a trash can that they might have missed. So that's a big one. I think just like they see like, wow, they actually care. They're not just coming in here with their camera, rapid fire, like it's our problem now. It's they care. They care about what they're putting out media wise. They care about what my client's going to think of me. And yeah, I think that's like a huge one. And I get complimented on that a lot, actually, is just even how, whether the agent is on site or not, how we're treating their clients.
Yeah,
we're making them look good, right? Obviously, we're a direct representation of that realtor. So if we come in, we're grumpy, we're rushing, we're not caring, we're looking like slobs, that looks obviously bad on your client. So that goes a long way too. I've had agents tell me that I'm the only person they would trust their client with, like no other vendors, not other realtors for like, you know, certain purposes. But yeah, so that was a nice thing I've heard a few times, is just going the extra mile and kind of patience and that sort of thing. And also not like nickel and diming. I learned that from you though, right? There's so much bad advice out there. And now I just like laugh when I see it.
There is a lot of bad advice out there. It's pretty
so
funny.
Much bad advice in Facebook groups that like aren't yours. I just like hang out there for fun sometimes. And it's
Same,
like,
it's almost are these people trying to make
photos. And like 12 people will comment, like, send a cease and desist letter and let's sue them. I'm like, oh my God.
I remember that one actually. And you were like, what is happening here? Basically in the comments, and like people were strategically talking about suing people. I was like, wow, that sounds like a long day. I remember that one. That's funny.
It's just funny too, because I think part like when you see those comments, you almost think the photographers are trying to like mislead their competition by giving them like the exact worst advice. Like that's how bad it is sometimes.
Great.
Yeah, it's just, it is funny. And it goes back to like, it's very important who you listen to for business advice, right? And that's not me saying you have to listen to me. It's saying you just want to listen to someone that's built the kind of business you want, because a lot of things, that's not really a case of this, right? But there are a lot of things that seem like a good idea, but that don't make sense either. So these ones that we're talking about are like easier to identify.
Out there.
Yeah,
it really is. And that was a huge one, is like just, and that's like the realtor perspective of like, their life's hard. They're not trying to mess your schedule up. They're not trying to make your life, it's just things happen. And I'm just always super understanding of that. Like whatever, whether it be like they have to cancel or just yesterday, he's like, oh my God, I forgot to put a lockbox on. I have to go. And I'm like, give me the key. I'll drop it off to you after. Like, not that those things happen all the time. I'm not saying, you know, a common occurrence, but just in those situations where you can tell they need that extra little, just throw them a bone, you know, don't got to charge them. You got to like make it hard just for no reason. Just, you know, be a supportive partner, I guess.
Well, and the thing I think that, you know, in those cases where a photographer like misunderstands, they kind of like an adversarial relationship with their clients. The way I always think about it is like, let's say a real estate agent has to cancel. They don't want to cancel. Like they want the shoot done. They want to get the commission and they want to move on to the next listing, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like they're like doing it to you or like the key.
As much as that like $300 hurts us, like they're going to lose, you know, 30 grand. So they don't want to make this tough or miss out on the shoot. So
kind of a different line. I've been wanting to ask it since you said it, but so you're in a small town now, pretty small town at least.
Yeah, it is. It is nice geographically that is still like drivable to a few other like majors. Like we're 45 minutes outside Calgary.
Like how far are you from Calgary, and how big is Calgary?
Calgary's big.
Yeah, Calgary's big.
I recognize it, so it's got to be.
No, I'm an Ontario girl. I don't know how many people are there.
What's the exact population there?
So how far did you say Calgary was from you?
40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. And so do you have business locally? Are you driving a lot, or what does that look like?
I'm driving quite a bit. There's definitely some business locally, not all that much well, we recently did a big merge with the next little town over. So I think we're at a whopping like 6K now. So that's exciting.
Big city stuff, you know?
But yeah, no, like between Calgary being 45 minutes in one direction, there's another city that at least has like 50,000. We're 15 minutes down the road. So there's plenty of options in just driving it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, 2,500 is a little small to be doing anywhere near your type of numbers. So I was like, there's got to be some driving involved.
Imagine I never left my little town.
How nice would that? That's like the real estate photographer's dream, though, is you never drive more than 20 minutes, but it's not real.
Yeah, no, that wasn't reality for me.
Yeah. So I want to, and I'm sure, Rod, do you have, let me ask you, Rod, I know you have a question, then I'll get to mine. I don't want to.
I have 7, but I'll pick.
You can only have one. Then I'm back.
I know. Let me think.
Good questions.
Well, I have our notes from our very first call. It was in December 2023. And it was just cool to see like you wanting to build a hands-off business, build a team. You were over the hustle and bustle of being a real estate agent as well. And it's just cool to see like you're living out. Your goal was a $4,000 a month. So now we're at 45. I thought that was kind of cool. It wasn't like you wanted to earn a $4,000 to $5,000 a month. That's what the notes said, but now you're hitting a $45,000 a month. And I thought that's really cool. So yeah, what was like, take me back to just, because I know you jumped into real estate media and coaching, it seemed like at the same time. So like, what was your mindset like jumping into this business? And what was like, was there any concerns at all or any fears, or is it just like you saw the videos with Eli and you were ready to jump, or what was the mindset like when you jumped into the business?
Yeah. Well, on that first point, like, no, it was like day one, like I'm starting coaching, I'm starting a real estate business. Like I didn't give it a go, like without coaching at all. It was like a joy.
Why not do it on your own? Genuine question. Cause I think a lot of people do try that first. What for you was like not an option?
Good question.
I don't know. I seen like, you just made it all make so much sense, where I think I immediately knew, okay, if I didn't go this route, like I would still be sitting here probably like thinking about my website or thinking about like, you know, just letting any little thing get in the way. So I think I knew I needed that push. I knew I needed to be held accountable. I knew I needed good advice and not, you know, from any Tom, Dick, and Harry on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I knew I would benefit from that. So anyways, that was why I did it like all in, full send, day one, in conjunction together. What else did you ask?
I was trying to
I asked a question with like 5 questions, and he only gives me 1 question, so I try to ask like 7 in.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I gotta stop.
I've never only given him 1 question.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Oh, you said kind of like fear mind, like what were like my concerns.
Yeah, what was your mindset around like that first bit?
Or even like the first 30 days, like what was like the, you know, whether it was jumping in or the first 30 days or 2 months, like what were some of like seemingly like the tougher times or maybe some concerns you had at the beginning?
Oh man, well, it still happens, but imposter syndrome, right? We all talk about it, but it is like literally such a thing. Imposter syndrome is huge. So, you know, when you're like putting yourself out there, like you're taught to in the training, like do this to acquire clients. There's like a lot of like, just you're putting yourself out there, you're being vulnerable. And to me, that was a little scary. I'm like, I feel like an imposter. I feel like I'm messaging all these agents talking about my real estate business and come and work with me. You're going to see how great it is. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never actually shot anything. I don't even know if I know how to take photos, and I don't know how to fly a drone. So it was just like, yeah, the fear of like not living up to the story I was selling. The fear of just,
how'd you do it? Like, did you just suck it up and do it? Or like, what was the,
No, I was like very regimented, like with exactly everything in the course checklist, like do this on this day. I was very, and that, I think that works very well with my personality. Kind of like the mindset of like, you just show up at the gym, right? Don't think about it. Literally just drive there and you walk in the door and then like, well, what am I going to do now? Right.
Yeah.
But it was similar with that. I'm just like, I'm just doing the checklist. I'm just okay. Without letting myself like, you know, have too much thoughts regarding it, because I probably would have been like, no, don't say that. Don't do that. You're not, you know, you're not a videographer.
It is a weird thing because when you look back, it's like, it seems so silly to think that, but when you're in it, it feels like it's like a very real obstacle. A lot of people in the comments are saying the imposter syndrome too. It's like, and so for you and for everybody listening, like, what's your advice on how to get through that? Is it genuinely just do it? Or like, what were some of your tactics, I guess?
Yeah, honestly, just kind of do it. And then slowly, like, you'll get those rewards. You'll see that, okay, you're not an imposter. But at the beginning, you just have to do it when there's no there's no proof to show. There's no validation really externally coming to you. So you just kind of got to like trust in the process, envision like, manifesting a little bit, but envision like where you want to be in a few months and know that this is the roadmap you have to take. And then like slowly things start trickling in. You do your first couple shoots, then you get your first compliment and somebody says it was awesome, and you get your first Google review. And then like suddenly over time, it starts snowballing into like real validation. Like, okay, I'm not an imposter. I guess I am a real estate.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Was there a moment in your business where you think it dramatically reduced? Was it the first shoot, or was like your first 5K month, or has there been that moment?
Yeah, I think like not the first shoot, definitely not the first shoot. It lingered around for a little while longer than that. I think it was probably just more when I was starting to get repeat clients, right? Like I would do something for somebody once, and then maybe they didn't have a listing for like 3 or 4 weeks. So I felt like that was sort of an uncomfortable little period. Like, okay, I know I shopped with this guy last week, and where is he? He's not calling me again. And you kind of let that spiral into, he hated me. I'm an awful person. The photos suck. He's, and then like it's just patience. And then like a week later, he's like, hey, I got my next listing. I want you back out. So I think it was when people started calling me more than just the one time. It was like, okay, something brought them back.
Yeah. It's funny because that phase is so stressful. And I'm sure you get a lot of questions about this, but I do as well. It's like, do I need to follow up with them? It's like, no, they just don't have a listing. Like they want another listing. I promise they do. Like you just have to wait. And it's almost, maybe the first time they say something, but almost no news is good news. Even if you send the photos and don't hear back, it's just, they got the photos. They're trying to sell the house now.
That's normal now. And I know that now, but in the beginning, it's like, I'm expecting some like love letter from them. I'm like pacing the floor. Like, okay, I sent the stuff. Like,
where's these are so awesome.
Yeah, but no, they're busy. I should have known that from being an agent. Like, okay, you got the photos, list it, sell it, go, go, go.
Yep. No, it's funny how much that stuff can play into your thoughts of like, I told you so to yourself, where you have this imposter syndrome, you do something and sometimes, as the cards have it, the first agent doesn't like your photos, or the fifth. And it's like, so you really have to be focused on the, like, other people have done this. There's no difference between where they did it and where I'm doing it. It can work here. So I just got to stick with it. Rod, you have something. What else do you have in there?
I kind of want to shift to like, and Dan asked in the comments too, as well, about you building your team. I kind of want to find out more about your team. And then just from okay, I'm going to try not to ask 5 questions in one question, but I was like, hold on, let me
write them down.
How was it shifted? Actually, what Dan asked is actually a really good question. Like, let me put it up here. How did you adjust to the shift of doing everything yourself to then building a team and building out the business? Speak to that a little bit in that shift. And then I'll ask probably follow-up questions to that.
Yeah. I think the biggest shift for me, like, wasn't necessarily the work itself. Like my first hire was somebody who was experienced, and he's awesome. He's my right-hand man. But so it wasn't like I was worried he couldn't do the job I did. In fact, I knew it would be better. It was like getting over my own concern of like, people are choosing to work with me because it's me. So that was something that was really kind of making me nervous. And in the beginning, I was a little bit stressed about like, I don't have the best photos in the world. I don't have the best anything in the world when it comes to media. It's good. But is it the best out there? No. So I told myself like the only reason they're working with me is because we've built a relationship. We've built a friendship even. So I was kind of convinced that like, okay, if I throw somebody else into the mix, that could all disappear. They could say, well, like Harley's obviously not on the road anymore, and move on. So I was worried that would dramatically kind of interfere with growth and the customers I did have. But, jumping ahead, that didn't happen. People were able to then build relationships with that person. And in the beginning, I was making sure I was still paying as much attention to them as I could, like by doing a couple of things, like just still showing up on shoots, whether it was like just to pop by and say hello, Even though somebody else was like physically doing the shooting, I'm like, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Here's a coffee. Or just like being even, well, it allowed me to be more hands-on because I had a little bit more time suddenly, like calling them before the shoot, like, hey, it's actually not me today, it's Justin. Good luck. Let me know how everything goes. So just kind of still having those meaningful connections, those meaningful moments. And now like I go for lunch with clients all the time. I go for coffee. Like that's like I have the best job in the world. I shoot sometimes, not very often. But those relationships have shifted to like either going out and actually doing something fun together or phone calls, emails, all that kind of stuff. So it was a leap of faith in the beginning, but now it's like, it's amazing. I couldn't go back to not having a team.
It's funny too, because a lot of times people go, oh, they're not going to have that relationship with me anymore. And it's like, well, one, they're not going to have the same relationship, but they're going to have the relationship with your team member, like you said. And so it's like realizing that other relationships also matter to clients. And that's like,
exactly. It's like, I'm not that special as much as I like jazz myself up that they love me. We're best friends. Like, no, I was easily replaced by other personable, friendly.
And it's great. That's like, it's a great thing. But the other thing, like you said, you get to move to a different type of relationship where you're almost more available. It's like, when you're shooting 4 houses a day or whatever, 5 if you were pushed at 6, whatever, like you don't have a lot of time to go to lunch. You don't have time to, you miss calls a lot because you're in shoots. You got to call back later. It's like now you're probably more available. And so
100%, 100%. And I have more time. It's more meaningful connections. It's more meaningful conversations. Even when we talk, it's like, so like, how are the kids? Not like, I gotta go. I am late for my 1 o'clock, right?
While you're shooting, flying a drone with one hand. You know? It's a different thing.
And now we, I have 4 team members and myself. And I think like clients are loving all of them. They're all personable people that were chosen for a reason, and it worked out.
I'm glad you said that specifically, because I think for anybody here that's, I was making a video on this topic earlier today, so it's funny to talk about it in this context too, but it's like, the fully booked real estate photographer that's doing, 10 to 25K a month, depending on their pricing and how they structure it, right? Their biggest fear is exactly what you just said, the opposite, right? They're thinking they're going to hire somebody and their business is going to go downhill. And I don't need you to say that again because you just said it, but like, what was that first hire like, and how long did you drag your feet, or did you just know you wanted a team?
I knew I wanted a team. I think we were like having conversations for a couple months. Not because I was dragging my feet, just because like the volume wasn't quite there yet, but it was like, okay, I want you to join my team. Like as soon as I see a certain number, or as soon as I hit a certain threshold, not that I necessarily had an exact in my mind. I just kind of knew like there's going to be a moment where I know it's time and I'm going to call you. And that I said, it was funny because I didn't know how rapidly things would grow. I was like, I'll probably call you in like 7-8 months. And it was like 2 months later. I'm like, dude, I need help. Please come join my team. And it was great.
What was the driving factor for building a team? Was it, probably a combination of you wanted to be able to make more money, I would imagine, but also some sort of lifestyle element? Like, what was it for you?
Yeah, huge. Everybody has different kind of goals and ambitions, and mine was never like, okay, I'm going to go hustle and work 12 hours a day. And I have kids. Like I want to be around to do whatever I want to do. I even in real estate, it's been a long time. I've been like anchored to a desk. I don't have that in me, I don't think. So I knew I needed something that like I can make my own schedule. If I want to go and volunteer at the school, I can go do that. And now like just this kind of thing, I love that my job is like going for lunches and going for coffees, and like we're doing a golf event in a little while. I went bowling with a bunch of clients a few weeks ago. Like
sounds like hard work.
Are you kidding me? So it's been great.
So, I mean, we have some context of where you're at now. Are you happy with the business where it is? Are you wanting to grow it still, or what's the future ideally look like for you?
Yeah, I think definitely growth. Growth has always been my goal. Like I said, I always knew I wanted to be a little bit more passive and have something kind of thriving that I can be anywhere and do anything, and it's still going to be what it is. So definitely growth. We're still growing. Like we're still getting referral like every day type thing. So I think it's naturally, like I think it's just natural, like every month is going up. So naturally we're growing from that reason. We're, connecting with a bunch of big teams that might look like I might need to hire just to accommodate that.
No.
And even geographically, I was talking to a client the other day and it surprised me. They have a over in BC, they said there's just no decent media around. So they're paying us to come out. And I'm like, really? I'm like, I certainly will, but like, are you sure it's gonna be more expensive for us to like travel, a province over? He's like, no. We want you out there. So geographic expansion.
It's almost hard to stop at a certain. So let me back up a little bit. It's hard to if you built a very like relationship driven business, you have to work at it to get your growth rate to slow down. Because if you it's like every client you get becomes another potential referral source. And so it's like this exponentially increasing thing where you're like, whoa. And it's funny you said the I'll call you back in 7 to 9 months or whatever thing, and it happened in 2 months. That's like the same story that everybody that is growing fast thinks is going to happen. They're like, oh, you've had students come to you about it. They'll go on group calls and be like, when do I need to hire? I'm like, probably now. And they're like, oh, I was thinking 3 to 4 months. I'm like, 3 to 4 months, you're going to be 4 times the size. It's like you got to go now. So yeah. Rod, do you have any? I'll let you have the final question.
Oh, well, no pressure. Let me consult the list. Oh, it's like the easy, good last question to ask people. It's too cliche, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. But if someone's watching and they're on the fence, whether it's with coaching but just really on the fence with real estate media in general, what would you say to them? What would the advice be?
I would say do it full send. Like
I figured that's what you would say.
Like I said, like really though, like I said, I wasn't even like allowing myself the mental over analyze, like just like do head down, do it. And I didn't have any special skills. Like I like talking to people. That's my thing. But outside of that, like there's no crazy wizardry going on over here that should allow me to succeed beyond anybody else. So do it. Ignore the imposter syndrome throughout those early days. Like they'll never go away fully. I have moments now where I'm still like, oh, I'm a coach too. There's a lot where you can question, like, are you good enough? Am I doing enough? And the question is, yes, if people are still calling you and, booking you and taking an interest in your work, like you're doing enough. So just do it and don't look back, basically.
Yeah. It's great advice too, like given the context, because if someone's listening to us, 35 minutes into this, they're like on the fence, but they're really off the fence. They just need someone to be like, so it's great advice. Well, thank you for being on here, Carly. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Of course.
Wait, there's one more. Wait, hold on. Wait. Someone had a good question in the comments and they asked again, and I kind of want to like hear your thoughts on it, actually, if you don't mind. I probably should have left it with that one. So it's so silly that I'm doing this, but I think it's a really good question. Have you ever faced discrimination in acquiring a client or a job? Example, false notion that men photograph better than women. If so, how did you handle that? Did you experience anything like that, or did that come up? Or
no, not even in the slightest, actually. Not at all. I think.
Was there a worry that maybe there was that? No, I think maybe you didn't think about it. I think maybe you didn't even think about it.
That's in my head. No, I don't think I was even like aware of that thought process. I guess we just have like videography wise, people tend to think men are better.
That is an interesting split, actually. Yeah, it's like photography generally, I think, is more skewed female, where videography, if anything.
I would trust the creativity more for some reason. That might just be in my head, but I feel like you didn't have the thought, and that's what it is. I think a lot of times people get the thought and they have the worry, and thus we put ourselves down that path, and then it unfolds. And if you just don't think about it, like now I put that in your head, and if you think about it, I'm sorry, I'll take full ownership of that. But I think it's just you didn't let it in. You didn't let it in, or let it be a problem, and it never became one. Right?
Negative self-talk, right? It just doesn't help. And I think even if that were like a thing, maybe, I don't know, but if that were a thing you were faced, like it can be spinned in so many different ways that like women have skills or can have skills like that are different from men in certain ways, right? Like, I do have a certain eye when I go like walk through a house. I'm fluffing pillows a certain way, right? So it's like anybody can use their own skill set to be like, oh, actually, I'm really good at this because male, female, alien, like it doesn't really matter.
It's just finding what your unique or advantage is, and then just leaning in on that. Like you said, you like to talk to people, you lean on that. Some people are very like, some people grow their business because they're very good at real estate video, and they're like not that friendly, but they're great at video and people love it. So it's finding that for you.
Yeah. And I never got great at that. Like I just, luckily don't have to worry about it too much now. I have team members who are great videographers, but, any little part of the business that is stressing you out or you don't think is your skill set can be like, there's a workaround for it. Basically, don't let something small discourage you. Like, oh, I'm afraid of video. Okay. Well, try your best. You can get to a certain point and then get help with somebody who does really excel at that. Or I know even some of my students are like great photographers, great videographers, but they're like the system stuff. So he's like, I'm not good at this. I don't know how to like write emails and do. I'm like, there's outsourcing for that. Like every single thing, if you have this great potential of this wonderful business in front of you and you have all these fantastic skills, don't let that one thing, not everybody's good at everything. Not that one thing like slow you down or like, get in your head. Everything is solvable.
That's good advice. Yeah, and you don't need every client, for any situation. It's like, people, it could be a broad range of topics. Some people will say like, hey, I work 9 to 5, are people going to be okay with that? And it's like, no, some of them are not, and it's okay. You don't need that. Like, you just need the ones that do want to work with you. And I think,
not everybody does. And I have clients still like that. Not everybody likes to work with me. Like I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Some people are more like analytical and I show up there, oh my God, how's it been? And they're like, okay.
They're like, Carly, who is this?
I'll calm down. So that's okay. It's just like, again, mindset shift that like, can't win them all, but you can win a lot of them.
Yeah. And nor can you serve them all, even if you did win them all. So it's not even
exactly.
Well, thank you for your time, Carly. Appreciate it.
No problem, guys. Thank you so much.
See you later.
Bye.
That was fun. I didn't even get a chance to talk about. So the cool thing that I wanted to say about Carly's, the way she built her business too, is like, I know she wanted more. She's one of the people, I think the fastest that I've seen build her business in a way that gives her meaningful free time. And the reason I know that's the case is because she works with us part-time as a coach now. And so she likes it. And so we're happy to have her because she's obviously got great experience and she's awesome to work with our clients and stuff. But like, she runs this business and does stuff with us, and still has the time to do this stuff. So it's just cool to see someone that had that idea of like, a lot of people get into this business because they want to maximize the amount of money they make. And that's awesome. That's one part of it. But she's been good about doing both at the same time, like not letting the business take over her life, which is pretty cool because it takes active effort not to do that. And I think for her, like the active effort was just scaling as soon as she was ready. Like she didn't get fully booked out, get to 20K a month, do that for 6 months, be like, I can't take it anymore, and then hire. Like she kind of did things in the right order, which is just cool to see. So we're lucky to have her.
Very methodic. What word did she say? Oh, she said a good fancy word. Regimented. She was very regimented in the checklist and with everything, and like, our recommendations on when to start hiring instead of hiring when it's like super busy and you can't see straight. It's like right before that point. So she's very regimented with everything, which really helps just being very accurate, in the different phases. So, yeah, definitely very encouraging. If anyone got any takeaways from that, comment them in the comments. And then let's start with some wins. I like starting off with wins. Y'all let us know the wins. We have 115 people up in here right now, and let us know any wins that you guys had in the last week. Big, medium, or small. They all count.
I don't know if, and while we're waiting on that, if you haven't seen my Instagram story that's live right now, go check it. It was a wins. I made a post in our Facebook community basically saying share your wins from April. And it was like a crazy amount of just really motivating wins. So check out my story. You'll see some pretty cool stuff in there. All right, here they're coming in. Nate had a 4K day. Nice. First I read this is 50K day, and I was like, excuse me, 50K month in April, which is still amazingly solid. So congrats on that.
You thought they meant solo by themselves, photographer?
No, I think that is a solo photographer. I think it.
Oh, what?
I thought it was
what?
a 50K day, and then then I read. I think, are you a solo photographer? Clarify.
That's yeah. I think if that's what that means, that's crazy.
The encouragement here is a win.
Gameplay Cinema. What's your name? You had good questions. What's your name so I can call you Gameplay. That's kind of cool too. I like
that. Let's see. My first photographer just started today. Mariah, congrats. That's a big thing. Yeah, that's awesome. How did it go? Let's see. Jay said we made 3K so far this month. Nice. It's only the 8th day too. That's a pretty good run rate.
Oh, that's real good.
My camera's all good to go now. I fixed it myself. Nice.
Oh, that's
pretty good. You were able to fix it. Shoot. I end up at Best Buy when ours break. Chris, in April, we both broke our first $37,000 a month. Congrats.
Purely solo, 50 grand month.
So
I want to dive into your day.
Yeah, my question for you is, what's stopping you from hiring? Because if you can do 50K solo, you have an unstoppable business with a team. Not to take away from the 50K though. Congrats.
Oh, Nathaniel. Nathaniel is your name.
Perfect. I will remember. It is funny with everybody's.
You made a video, I think.
Oh, yes. Hello, Nathaniel. First of all, I connected the dots like after you said that. I was like, wait a second. Good to have you in here, Nathaniel.
Megan wanted to give you a shout out today as well, Nathaniel. So this works out perfectly.
Yeah, thanks for being on here. Had my first paid self-edited condo shoot. Nice. Get an editor, Joseph, is my unsolicited advice for you. Don't edit your own stuff. It's not worth it. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Double click.
You click them. There's too many wins. I mean,
first of all, hello, Justin. Second of all, just crushed a live event I walked in the door from. I sponsored an EXP rally, got in front of 500 agents with huge endorsements from 20 agents in the crowd. That's a huge audience. I'm surprised you didn't.
That's public speaking. I mean, you're getting. That's crazy.
Was it nerve-wracking?
Yeah, I'm getting nervous thinking about that.
You know what's funny though? So we did REPP 2023 the first year. And I think it was most scary when it was like 40 people in the room. And then when we had last year, like the 220 or 240 or whatever, it was less. So I'm wondering, Justin, was it even less scary with 500? Jordan, what's up? Said 2 group interviews,
nice.
2 VAs this week. Nice.
That'll help.
Very well needed for you, sir.
We'll start rapid firing through these wins. There's so many.
Go for it. I'll let you talk.
Between interviews, hired second VA to help with photo deliveries. Dan North, 19K record month in April. New hire starts.
You almost cost him a digit.
Jerry, I thought you were saying you hit a 50K month.
No, it was the other guy that said that.
No, I thought Jerry was saying he hit a 50 grand month. I was like, excuse me? What happened? I know you're crushing it. I was like, about to say, well, you're gonna hit those soon. Who are we kidding?
Yeah, he doubled it. He would have to like more than double in a month, which is, Jerry could.
Man, what are you waiting for? Come on, let's dig in. Oh, this is when we asked why not hire. That's exactly what Carly said.
Yeah, book in and talk with our team if you haven't. I mean,
let me throw in the book in.
That's a very First of all, congrats on getting to 50K without hiring. That's impressive. Yeah. That's like up there with the most we've seen solo. I think Jericho probably is the only one I've seen more than that. He did like 65 grand solo, but he's hired since then, thankfully. But yeah, it may be structured so that clients hire you for you, but it can be easily switched if you do things the right way. So yeah, congrats on that. It's incredible. All right, let's see.
All right. Y'all started putting some questions as well. That was the most wins I've ever seen. That was pretty exciting, actually.
I like this one from Dave.
No, it was a great Q&A. Carly's incredible, and it's cool to see. I mean, it's just having our first call and her saying she wants to build a hands-off business and have a team and do this full-time, and her first goal is a $4 grand month. And I think in coaching, if I remember straight, her 5th month, she had a $15,000 month in Canada. It was like 10 grand month US dollar. In like her 4th or 5th month. And I saw on her Instagram recently too as well, like just a shout out to her team and just showcasing her team. And I thought it was just like, you could tell she really loves her team, and like she said, she loves people, and you could tell she does that with her.
Well, how she was on the Q&A is how she is in every meeting I've been on with her. She's just like positive, excited, well-spoken. And you can tell like you'd want to work with her if you were an agent, right? I mean, it makes sense. And so if you're sitting there saying, well, I'm not that, that doesn't mean you're excluded from that. Again, like we talked about, you have to find the thing for you. Like I've become more outgoing, especially on camera, because I've been doing it for 5 years. But like, you would laugh if you guys met 2018 Eli. And 2018 Eli had a scaled team at Norman Young, and the business was doing all right. And so you don't have to be like some perfectly polished, outgoing person. I was so nervous for so many shoots. I hated the social side of it. But the way I overcame it was just try to be as accommodating as possible. So anytime they need something, I had them covered. They trusted me. I was reliable. I had agents say it was crazy how on time we were, because I would just show up early and wait for the agent to get there. It's like, well, then I'm never going to be late, you know? And so you have to find that thing for you and lean into it. Speaking of find the thing for him and lean into it, Jerry, congrats on that, dude.
Yeah, seriously, Jerry.
Setting records month after
and I love your video on Eli's YouTube channel too, of y'all at the event. That was awesome. Yeah, and by the way, y'all, if y'all see someone named Aaron Polakaitis commenting in the chat, avoid him. He's a crazy person. I'm just kidding. He's on our team. Aaron's on our team. So if you see someone, Aaron, say, hey, I would love to chat with you. He is not a random person. He is on our team, and he's incredible. So Media by Domino, if you want to connect with Aaron and hop on a chat with him, you're more than welcome to. He's got a lot of knowledge about the business. And he's super tall, fun fact. No, so there you go. All right, let's get some questions in. I'm gonna do a gear question because I know you love those, Eli. Just kidding.
You know me. I have the Canon R50, the lens, and the Ronin SC gimbal. Do you recommend shooting real estate videos with that, or should I use my iPhone 15 and Osmo 7 gimbal? I would recommend starting with the iPhone. There are some benefits you might get from using a camera eventually, but I don't think those are something you get at the start. So like with the iPhone and the Osmo stabilizer, you're going to be able to focus on the shots, not the settings. And so I would say start with the iPhone 15.
Oh, nice win, JD. Let's go.
Cleared 15K in April. First 2K day this week. Getting ready to hire a photographer. Yeah, I bet your May, June, and July are going to be even busier too.
Marco has a question. Do you have to be part of launch to get help with setting up Spiro?
It depends on what you mean by help. No, I mean, Spiro is, you can just go sign up right now. Their support team will be able to help you. We just provide additional support inside of our launch coaching. And so
how to use it like a boss, basically.
But no, you can absolutely go use it, Marco. All
right, let's see.
I'm finding more. Ooh, that's a good question. Any advice for those still looking for a 1K month? Yeah, I mean, the only thing that matters when you don't have clients is getting clients. So spend on so much time getting clients that it would be not reasonable for you to not hit a 1K month. So do the Instagram method, do the outbound method. If you go to my lives tab here on YouTube and type in like profile critique or profile review, there's a video on how to set up your Instagram account to make it so when you reach out to agents, you're more likely to get a response. But I would say like biggest mistake to make when you're still in that beginner phase, you got to spend almost no time on the camera gear, camera settings, anything like that. Get a shoot. I mean, you have to have practice on your house at least once, but like get a shoot and practice. That's the most important thing. Practice at the shoot, right? You need to be like ready enough to do a decent job. But the thing that's going to get you ready is having that shoot on the calendar. Like I promise you, it's Thursday right now. If you had a shoot on Monday, you'd be ready. You'd spend the weekend prepping. And so clients, without clients, you don't have a company. All your effort on getting clients.
Damn, that was good. Mic drop.
Chris said, will there be a Las Vegas event this year? Saw Eli was on the PMRE speaker list. Yes, REPP 2025 is in Vegas again. It's November 7th and 8th. And so it's coming up. Tickets are about to launch. I mean, this month for sure. I don't know what Bailey's launch date is. Bailey's our event planner. But those are going live soon. So yeah, absolutely. It's going to be cool. We're going to have about 400 people there this year. So we're really excited about it. We have some cool speakers lined up. It's going to be like, obviously, we're putting the most into it. So it's going to be our best event yet. But the main reason it's going to be our best event yet is because of the speakers that have said yes to speaking. So it's going to be amazing. Hope to see you there, Chris. Let's see.
Shout out, Aaron. Thank you for the Aaron shout out, Violet.
You pattern interrupted me when you said Aaron was just like a spammer in the chat. I was like, oh. Let's see. Catching up. Sorry, guys. Are there any events coming in the Dallas area? No, we don't have any upcoming in Dallas, unfortunately. We
got to get to Dallas, man.
What's that?
What you got against Dallas, man?
You know, I lived here for too long. I'd rather go other places.
Oh, that's it.
Ooh, this is a good question. Is there a best time of year or season when real estate photography really picks up? Yeah, I mean, there's a time when it's busier than other times. So November, December, and January are what we consider slower season. Depends on where you live a little bit, but right now it's basically we're getting to the flat part of busy season. So April and May is when it starts to get busy. June, July, and August get a little busier. So you're at the start of busy season, basically. From a when I would recommend starting perspective, I think there's benefits to any time of year when you start. It's just there are costs too. So busy season, if you want to start right now, it's great for momentum because agents have listings, they're ready to go, but sometimes they're a little harder to get a hold of because they're busy, right? And so is that a benefit or a drawback? I don't know. I mean, now's a great time to start. If you wanted to start in December, the drawback is going to be, well, you might not get a shoot as fast, but agents are more likely to going to see your Instagram message. So my general advice is don't time it seasonally. Like if you want to start a real estate media business, start one. And if you don't want to start one, there's never a good time to start one, but don't let the season mess with you, especially because when you're just starting, the busyness of the time of year isn't as impactful because let's say you just start and you get 10 clients. It's pretty easy to go from 10 to 20 clients. So if the season cut in half, all you have to do is get 10 more clients to double your business and you don't notice it. Whereas when you're established, it's much harder. So seasons don't really matter when you're first getting started. Jerry said, looking back for now, Eli, what big lessons do you learn as a leader during the early stages of your business? Ooh, that's a good one. A lot, and most of them are I've learned the hard way. I'd say the biggest one is there's a book called Radical Candor that talks about how to communicate with people, especially on your team, but also with clients and just in general. And I think I guess my biggest lesson is learning radical candor, and it's still something I work on because I don't like to tell people stuff that's not positive, right? Especially team members. I don't want to tell them they're sucking at something, but I just learned that that's the most respectful thing you can do and most helpful thing for your business and also for them. And so I'd say for me, just being willing to be like, hey, that kind of sucked. Or, hey, I don't think you're looking at that quite right. And if you do that, your business will explode. So I'd say that was my biggest one as a leader specifically, that I wish I would have learned sooner. Mr. Tyler, it is at Planet Hollywood this year. So midway up the strip on the right side if you're looking north. Yeah, JD, it was supposed to be in Scottsdale. I really wanted it to be in Scottsdale selfishly because I'm not the biggest Vegas fan, but it was going to be way too expensive for attendees. The hotels were a lot more expensive. There was not a lot of good food close to the venues. So we gave up and went back to Vegas. But it's going to be good. So you can always drive to Scottsdale if you need a little Scottsdale after the event. My first time touching a camera was 30 minutes before my first shoot. I've heard me can do it, so can you. Nice.
Basically, Eli, they ask about this. So Eli had a long. So real. I'm like, how the hell do I actually explain this, Dave? But basically, one of the many, I guess, logos
or
of our
icon
program, is launch. One of the coaching programs being called launch. It's like you're launching your business. So it's like the icon is launching into space. So Eli had this space guy. I was super jealous of him. So I'm like, I'm gonna go on Amazon and buy a cooler one. So this is my cooler one. Was just one doing karate and kicking. But his is still cooler somehow.
So it's launch, Dave, and then forward is the going forward stage, and then orbit is our last stage of when you have a team and stuff. So it's just a corny thing. Anyway,
yeah. So a gold-plated astronaut guy. That's the thing.
I bought the course in 2020, went through it, bought most of my gear, but never actually launched or got off the ground. I'm ready now. Are there many updates to the original course? Lots changed since 2020. Definitely have a chat with Aaron. Some will apply and some won't, so he can talk with you about that. Oh, you already literally said that, Aaron. Let's see.
Aaron's stalking in the chat.
Yeah. JD, I get it on Vegas too. The thing with Vegas is it's so set up for events. The hotels are cheap, flights in there are cheap, that kind of stuff. I'd love to do Nashville. It's just it's hard because people come from all over, so it's very important to be a hub that people can fly into easily and stuff like that. Rod does play the drums. He was actually in a band.
He's country music. One day when I have time, I want to mic up these things, and in the intro, surprise y'all by
You're the
playing
music.
cool in the beginning, and then it goes on, and I have fireworks just coming in, and it just burns the roof a little bit. I gotta be careful, but yeah,
that'll be the day I leave the loop.
One day, I gotta find the time. I got a toddler at home here, so time is quite limited. I'm getting used to time again here. So
I put the link for this username, smondi36. This is where you can talk with Mr. Aaron and our team.
Well, it'll go to our Rotata, and it could be anybody. It could be a mix of different people. You're going to make me want to mention everyone on the team now. It's either going to be or Mundle or Nicole, you can call her, or it's going to be Marcy, or it's going to be Lisa or Isaac or Derek or Dylan, right? It's going to be Megan or Nikki or Richard or myself, maybe. We never know, right? So if you have chatted to anyone on our team before, I love when y'all shout them out. If y'all have spoken to anyone on our team before about coaching or whatever, comment them in the comments. I always in our meetings the next day, I always shout out any of them that got shouted out, and their eyes light up. So if you have spoken to our team before, definitely shout them out in the comments. And also go back to them and be like, hey, how can I get creative to get coaching? How can I get it? Because they love creative conversations about helping you get coaching too. Come on now. I got to plug coaching just a little bit.
There's a Mundle. And a Mundle shout out. So that's always good. Nicole is on an incredible trip right now. She's
right.
Yeah, very active hiking, doing this crazy. It's not even hiking. It makes my hiking look like walking. Anyway, let's see. Oh, that's a really good question. Maybe self-answering. Is it possible to start this kind of business with a toddler?
Reminds me of Emanuela, who she bring her. She was a new mom and brought her child to shoots.
Yeah,
and it got creative. Yeah,
there's a video with her. If you type in Emanuela in our lives or just in YouTube, you'll see it. But I mean, it's like anything, right? Does it make it harder in some scenarios? Absolutely. It just depends on if you're what you're willing to do. And if you're wanting to do this business, it's just what you're going to have to do. And so I guess the way to answer too would be plenty of people have had to either figure out a way to get childcare to make this business happen or take the kid with them, and I think
toddler might be hard. I wonder how old her child was when she brought, a baby a little easier than a toddler running around breaking lamps.
Yeah.
So when there's a will, there's a way.
That's the right spelling.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to think. I don't think we've interviewed them. There's someone that actually they brought 2 kids with them. I remember talking about it because I was like, were the agents okay with that? They were like, yeah, the agents would watch them while I shot. And I was like, oh, nice. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way kind of thing.
Oh, man.
Tom, there are some coming up. We usually launch them a couple months out. So if you save this link, I'll put it. It's replaunch.com/events. You will see our upcoming event schedule for everything that's been announced so far. But yes, there's typically we do one event a month, but it's not always a public event. Sometimes it's, for our students only, or, for a different level of business. Like sometimes events are for 10K to 50K people or 25K plus kind of stuff like that. So, yeah. Well, thanks, everybody for being in here today. I appreciate it.
Already time. Oh man.
It is. It goes by fast. I mean, today it went by a little slow because I have a raging sore throat, but that's okay.
Oh yeah. You wanted me to ask the questions more today, and I didn't do that. Whoops. I was going to give you a throat.
I still have a little water left, so we're good.
There you go.
Anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. Hope you got some value from Carly, who's
on next week. Do you remember?
I can check.
Do we have someone next week?
No, I think next week's a wild card, actually. We had a cancellation last minute, so I got to figure out who I want to fill it with. But it's going to be someone good. So show up next week. If you haven't talked with our team yet, we'd love the opportunity to talk with you, even if coaching is not the move for you now, just to game plan a little bit about what it could look like. And if you have questions about the business in general, that's what we're here for. Obviously, we'd love to work with you in coaching. That's what we get to do for a living. But that starts with providing you a ton of value on things like this and on the front end, because ultimately, if you need to figure out if this business is the right thing for your life, if it's going to help you with the goals you have, whether it's making more money or having more free time. If you're like, I don't want to do real estate media, then we don't want your money. We want to only help you if it's something that aligns with what would be, in your best interest. So, if you're newer here, watch my videos when you're like, hey, I know I want to do real estate media. Jump on and talk with our team. That's what they're here for. We're more than happy to help. We'd love the chance to talk with you and love to chance to work with you if it makes sense for you. So we will see you very soon. Have a great rest of your day and a good weekend. And let's see if I can find the end screen here. I got it queued up. There's too many end screens. Anyway, thanks everybody. Appreciate your time and hope you got some value from today. See you later.
Bye, everybody.